Dragon Age Inquisition on the PlayStation 4. This will be a rest stop video. Uh, 40, wow. 45 hours into this game. I had no idea. I've been playing this game for a while. Let me see how long I've been playing it. A couple of weeks, it looks like, yeah. So basically, this is me sort of parking this game for a while. I've played more than enough of it to kind of get a feel for how it works up to this point in the game. And before I make any more progress, any serious progress, I'm going to make a rest stop video here, so I can kind of leave like a sort of a diary of where I've come from, so I know where I'm going to go in the future. I'm here inside Skyhold. It's a spoiler alert. At some point in the game, this area is revealed, and this is going to be your home base, at least up to this point in the game. There are several milestones prior to this. Don't worry about that here. Just know that after this point in the game, you're probably going to be in a new area if you've made any serious progress in the story. There is a point in the story, I think about maybe 15, 20 hours in, where you have to choose if you're going to follow the Mage path or the Templar's path. I chose the Templar's path by accident when I was playing on the 360 version. I'm playing on the PS4 now, and I chose the Mage path instead. I wasn't able to record any footage from it because I think my device wasn't, either the hard drive wasn't working, or the game doesn't allow you to record during that period, which I guess makes sense. I mean, I have a save point there. I'll go there if I have to. Here inside Skyhold, there are several fast travel points within Skyholds. You can go to the merchant's area down here. There's also a basement. I forget what merchant is. Yeah, this is the Undercroft, where the crafting is done. I'll show you that later in the video. There are probably going to be at least 2 videos here. So here I'm going to focus more on the prep time, if you will. Here in this area, it's actually a multi-level area. It's kind of hard to explain here on this map, but there are several floors here. From this fast travel point, there's Liliana right here. You can speak to her. That opens up various conversation tree options. At some point in the game, they give you individual missions. For each character, each side character in your Inquisition is going to give you a side mission. For instance, if I go to the journal here, which one is hers? Is it the collections? No. Inquisitor's Path? No. She did give us a quest. Let's remember which one it was. I think it was the Inner Circle. This is it, I think. Yeah, one of these. Okay, so basically each of your characters will give you a separate mission. And what matters to me is figuring out... I'm trying to figure out where all this stuff was. Yeah, I don't have that. There's also, I'll show you those assassin missions later. But here inside the Inner Circle of Power Burgers and Masters each give me individual quests. Liliana gave me a quest. I don't know where it is. We have a character named Blackwall who gave us a quest. Vivian's one of our mages. She gave us a quest. We'll talk to them in a second. I don't remember completing Liliana's mission. Let's see what she's about.
Reports of fade rifts and demons keep coming. The people are terrified, and it's only getting worse. The only thing that will calm their fears now is the hope that someone out there can save them. You have to be that someone. Seal them. Your legend will spread, and Thedas will learn to trust the Inquisition.
Special. Yeah, all this.
In Redcliffe, you sacrificed yourself so that I could return here.
Of course I did. One small life in exchange for a second chance at history. I always loved a bargain.
Nice.
It was still a sacrifice, and still noble.
And I would do it again.
The Divine's death hit you hard. How have you been feeling?
Oh, you are referring to my outburst in the Haven. She was a good friend, and it will take time to get used to her absence. But thank you for asking. It is appreciated.
I'll leave you to your work.
Yeah, the dialogue in this game is actually not bad. The main story seems to be actually kind of meh. It ebbs and flows. Let's just put it that way. The times when the story's supposed to be taken seriously don't work at all to me. It's mainly a bunch of, it's not anime, obviously, but it's a bunch of lore dumping and a bunch of really sort of overly grave notions of what could happen. Basically what happens is, without spoiling anything too much, at some point you're jumped several years, you're jumped into the future, you get a peek of the future, and then you come back. And I'm not a fan of that, mainly because it's like, okay, I guess they're trying to establish the stakes, but my problem with that is that anything in the story that I have to take gravely seriously just doesn't work. So, fine, I just ignore that. But the actual flavor text, you know, the little bits and pieces of, you know, the exchanges between the characters are very well done. They're well done enough that I actually want to talk to the people of this game, which is something I rarely do in most RPGs. Because most of them don't have very good dialogue. but it's good here.
We're supposed to have 52 copies of Hard in Hightown, and we're missing all but 4.
Yeah, that. Turn in research. You go over here and you have items in your valuables. In fact, where would they be? Inventory. Valuables are listed here. If you have any items that can be sold, they're here. You can also move items from other parts of your inventory, like this. If you're not going to use this weapon, you press L2 and it moves to your valuables. So you can sell it. What you're probably going to want to do, as you can see on the bottom of the screen there, above the triangle that says destroy, the green triangle, 32 out of 60. That's my inventory space. Gold, I'll talk about gold later, because gold, I haven't spent money on anything until very recently. I had something like 15,000 gold at some point, because I never bought anything. But I'll show you some of the options, because I don't need to buy weapons, and we keep dropping more weapons than I'll ever need. So I'm just selling them for money, basically. But if you have creature research items in your valuables, you can turn them in here, and you'll get experience sometimes, and you'll also gain the ability to be stronger against those enemies.
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
What is your evaluation of how we're doing?
Adequate, based on the partial improvements to Skyhold.
As you were?
Yes, Inquisitor.
So I got a new map operation. I'm going to want to do that, actually. Let me go to the map. Fiona.
I heard of your verdict on Alexios, Inquisitor. Research on your behalf is almost too kind. I hope you know what you're doing. Do be wary of anything that man proposes.
Yeah, at some point, you're
I'll
asked...
leave you to it.
At some point, you sit on the throne. There's Dorian. At some point, you sit on the throne, you're able to make judgments against people. I'll come back here in a second, but let me go back to the fast travel point right here. Then we're going to go to the war room. We're going to activate some of the timed missions that are in effect, and then we're going to wander around the castle. Because one of the things this game does is that it takes you to a big map screen where you delegate some activities on the map to one of your 3 advisors. So the way it works is that, okay, the clock's going to keep ticking while you're wandering around the map doing other things. So while they do their thing, you're able to do your thing, and time's gonna click. Time's just gonna tick away. The interesting thing is that I think that clock is running even if you're not playing the game. So that map clock for those timed missions seems to be based on the PlayStation 4 or your console. It's not based on time in game, because there are missions in this game that take 16 hours. I just did a mission right here that had a 16-hour clock that was ticking. And as it turns out, I guess that mission's done, because I wasn't playing it. I haven't touched this thing in like 10 hours. But it looks like the mission's done. Okay, fine. We have an Inquisition perk at the bottom of the screen on the right-hand side. It says Power 51. I'll explain that later. To the left of that, it says Inquisition Perks. So we get to choose. I'm glad I got to show you this. What ability do we want to improve? For instance, opens up new dialogue options related to criminal activities and grants extra experience for each codex entry unlocked. This is actually not that bad, because I have a bunch of abilities that give me more experience, which is great. Because you don't get much experience by defeating enemies, really. You might get maybe 40 or 50 experience points by defeating a regular enemy. But you'll get 75 to 150 experience points by reading a book that's on a bookshelf, or reading a letter that's on a table in the middle of a cabin somewhere. And of course you get experience by exploring, finding new regions, claiming landmarks as you're wandering the map. So you get more experience. I would argue you get as much experience exploring as you do killing things, which I like because I'm a cartographer in these open worldish games. So if I can explore a map and just mark stuff and find secrets, I'm perfectly fine with that. Unlike something like No Man's Sky, where you're basically wandering around and you're not really getting anything you need. Everything seems to be something else you can gather. And the stuff you find almost never seems to be of consequence. In this game, you need to do all that exploring to level up, to unlock new missions, and I'll show you how I do that in a second. I get 10% extra chances. Some of these aren't that good. This was actually useful, because if you unlock this ability, you get more dialogue options, as I said, and you get more experience when you find books on shelves. Usually. Collection of herbs. One of these was actually very useful. Yeah, this one actually was like somewhat useful, because there are locks in this game that you can't open until you unlock this skill, which allows rogues in the party to open masterwork locks. My character avatar is a rogue, and we have another rogue. We have a rogue in our party. We have at least 3 rogues in our team. But when I go down to combat, I'll show you why you don't need all those extra people. Those people are just there to be pack mules at best. In fact, the people in your party are useful. The people who you don't bring with you are far less useful. And I would argue you don't even need them that much. I already did this. Gains additional XP for each foe studied, including those already completed. That's fantastic. Because when I turn in that creature research, I get experience for doing that. You get creature research when you defeat an enemy out in the field, and it drops an item that you get an item like, fangs or claws, and you turn that in as a research item, and that gives you experience points, and it makes you slightly stronger against those specific enemies. I'm a fan. Connections. Let's see. We already did this. Opens up new dialogue between the nobles and politics. Okay. Some of the stuff, like, making stuff cheaper doesn't seem that useful to me. Sterling reputation. That's what I mean. 15% discount doesn't matter that much because I don't buy anything in this game. Well, not until recently. There are other things I'm going to buy, so maybe I might want that. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Rare stocks. Rare and valuable raw materials for crafting sounds good. But again, that's probably just something I need to buy. But again, I don't want to buy any skills that I'm not going to use for a while, but let's see what happens. Stuff like this. History in the Chantry. Increases inventory capacity. Might be useful. Better techniques in glassworking make more durable flasks, allowing for more potions to be carried at one time. Sounds like a good idea. 4 points needed to gain 1 combat ability point for the Inquisitor. I'm the Inquisitor. So what do I want? I can leave this, right? Yeah, so I can come back and do that later, so don't worry about that. So normally I would choose one of those options, but I'll figure out what I want to do later. Report ready. These exclamation marks show the missions that are done. You got Influence and an Elf Snake Vitar. That Elf Snake Vitar you see right there is a helmet that can only be worn by the horned race of beings. I think they're called Canari. We have one in our party. His name is the Iron Bull. I got an Apostate Staff Blade. This is actually it's an upgrade to a Magician's Staff. So we have mages in our party. They fight with staves, and you can improve them by putting different grips and blades on them. I'll show you that when I get to the forge. The Undercroft, as it's called here. Bottom of the screen right here, you see power. Actually, before I do anything, mind wait, yes, let's pick a mission for some of these people. So we're going to waste a bunch of time on the map anyway. Might as well pick a mission for them. See, this is a staff that one of my mages can carry. So if I put one of those in, so if you take that staff blade that I got recently, a few seconds ago, might be able to combine that with this. Or there might be an improvement that's already on the staff. We'll find out in a second. Okay, so let's actually do stuff. Let's do quick stuff. Because we're not going to wander around that much. Continuing your predecessor's work. This is a timed mission, as you can see right here. Liliana can get this mission done in 39 minutes. So we're going to be wandering around the map
Let's
for
see
a
what we
while, so
have.
let's let her do her thing. So I got her doing that, and the clock's going to tick down. That's already done. See, the clock's ticking. So we can sit here for 38 minutes, and I can have this conversation, and the clock will keep running. But instead, we'll do something else, for instance. Let's see what else is on the map. You can get fallow mire resources. If you want summerstone and blue vitriol, do this mission. It'll take 10 minutes for Josephine to do
At your
it.
service.
As you can see, each character has a certain amount of time it takes for them to complete the mission. Josephine is the most efficient character for this mission. She'll get it done in 10 minutes. Cullen needs 15 minutes. Or he needs like 13 and a half minutes. That's what I'm talking about. That's completed. Nothing else over here I need to do. That's been completed. And you can do stuff like this. On the bottom of the screen here, you see power. Power is earned by completing missions in each of these areas. You can also buy power, believe it or not. If you go to one of our merchants downstairs out in the yard, they sell items that we can use to gain 1 tick of power, and we gain influence. Influence allows us to increase our Inquisition level. When our Inquisition level goes up, we get these Inquisition perks down here. You get influence again by completing missions and by buying those items from the merchants out in the yard. I'll show you a bit later. At this point in the game, you can buy them, and you'll probably have enough money to buy them. But you can build up, you can buy them, you can basically get them for free if you complete missions within each of these areas. For instance, if you go here, you press square, and you can fast travel to this area, the hinterlands. You spend most of your time here early in the game. If you remember Total Biscuit back in the day, he was constantly complaining about having to go back and forth to the hinterlands to get more power to complete stuff. At some point, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours in the hinterlands, you'll be able to explore other areas like this. Like the fallow mire, which you probably don't want to go to right away. It's kind of ugly and dark, and there's some very strong enemies in there. But we're stronger now, so it might be more manageable. But again, you can complete missions here. You can get experience and influence by finding camps, by going to spaces on the map, setting up camp in designated spots, and those camps become fast travel points. I'll show you those later. The way you unlock these areas by actually completing these power missions, like these right here. If you complete a power mission, you're in the Exalted Plains, we use one of our forces here. There's a power cost of 8. I don't know what these cards mean. I don't know what connections means. I don't know what secrets means. I don't know what forces means. What I know is that Cullen is going to be the one who goes on this mission. It will cost 8 power for him to go on this mission. We're not going to do it yet, but when he's done, we're going to unlock that particular stage. So we can use some of our power to unlock stages. These here are pretty cheap. This one here is the most expensive one on the map. It's probably story-based. So if you want to unlock new areas, you have to spend power to unlock them by doing stuff like this. We'll probably end up unlocking one of these a bit later. Not now, but later. To Venture Resistance. This is going to be a 2.5 hour mission. So I'm probably going to run this before I end the video. But again, this is one of those really long missions that if I just turn off the console, it'll probably be done in the morning. It is what it is. Let's see. Western Approach resources. Yeah, we can do this. This will take 13 minutes. So we can just harvest some Paragon's Luster and Everite. I'm not a big fan of this whole free roaming cursor thing because, I mean, these are just nodes on a map. So if it were up to me, these nodes would be permanent and it would be easier for me to just switch between them. But I guess this makes a bit more sense because this is basically a mouse cursor you're controlling with a stick. So I guess I'm not too terribly disappointed about that. 6 minutes left in this one, so you can see the little marks here on the map, so you know which missions are currently in progress. You know how much time's remaining by clicking on them. We'll leave this area and come back here in a second, but I give you some idea about what's going on the map screen. It's somewhat meaningful, but frankly, I don't like the idea of having to come back here constantly. So you see all the influence I got here? So if I get, what, 2,000, 2,300 more influence points, I'm able to gain one more Inquisition perk. Again, I'm not really a fan of having to go back and forth, because you can see here the nearest fast travel point is down here. So if you want to come here from the map screen, from like if you're out in the world and you want to come back here, you have to go here to Skyhold. You have to choose this fast travel point. You have to fast travel here, then you have to walk all the way over here. And you can either fast travel to a new spot on the world map from that map screen, or you can just leave and do it from here, which is what I do. Because I want to see what I got. See on the left-hand side of the screen? All that stuff that I earned is stuff I want to mess with. Let's see. This is going to be for our mage. So I go over here, press L1 and R1 to choose my different categories of weapon. And when you get a new weapon, you want to see what the new one was. The new weapons have that little diamond on top of it. But I already know it's a staff, so we'll go over here. It's a level 11 mage that can wear this, and it has a corrupting rune on it, but no room for anything else. To my knowledge, you cannot remove runes from staffs, which is disappointing. This one, it's a lot stronger. This makes things a lot more interesting. Press the square button, you can compare the item you've chosen from the item that's already in your inventory. Vivienne already has a spell burst staff. That gives her extra constitution and extra magic. And there's a rune, but there's a rune on this other side. So I might want to keep that rune, because I might want to keep that rune. The thing about Constitution is that Constitution is used for your defense level. And I'll show you that in a second. Armor. What's our new armor? It's up there in the helmets. Elf Snake Vitar. Go to the Iron Bull right here. He's one of our mains. We have 4 mains. Actually, we have 3 mains. And our avatar. The Inquisitor is our main character. And we have 3 people who normally accompany her. This Elf Snake Vitar is a helmet. It's stronger than the one I have, but I lose some constitution. But I gain some willpower. This Jim Curry looking guy is our... Yeah, this Jim Curry looking guy is our... he's our warrior. He's our tank. He does melee attacks only, and he uses melee attacks mainly, and he sops up damage. He wears our strongest armor, and he has the most health. Damage. Yeah, the idea is that it's a helmet that actually damages enemies, apparently. Yeah. It increases his ability to do damage to enemies in melee combat, so that actually kind of makes sense. He loses some constitution, but he gains some attack power, which actually might be useful. So I'll show you why I chose that in a second. Character record. Let's see, under attributes, I'll explain those ability points in a second. By the way, I have not changed these behaviors ever. I might change them later, because this controls the AI of your characters if you don't want to control them. So that's kind of interesting. I haven't had to make any adjustments, but I probably will later if I have to. On the hard difficulty, you might have to. So we'll keep that in mind. Character record. Attributes. Strength, press square. Physical attack strength increases attack for warriors only. So if you go to... That's Sarah. Cassandra's one of our warriors too. She's like the Iron Bull, but we don't use her. So that's his strength. So that increases his attack power. Dexterity is for rogues. It increases their attack power. Rogues are interesting because they can be either ranged characters or melee characters. So if you equip daggers, they can be melee. I use arrows, so I give her dexterity, and she has a lot of that. Got that dexterity bonus. Magic is mainly for mages. Actually, it's only for mages. Vivienne's our main mage. There we are. Let's see. Each point increases attack and barrier damage bonus. The most important thing for them is that mages break down barriers if enemies have magical barriers around them, which some of them do, not many. And it also increases their attack power. Cunning, as near as I can tell, is completely worthless. We have a rogue character named Varric who attacks with bows and arrows. It's supposed to increase critical chance. I don't think it's that useful at all, quite frankly. In fact, do we critical chance 11%? So that's not much. You might be able to increase that later, but the idea of having like a 10% chance of getting a critical hit, maybe that's important. I don't know. No one else seems to have it. I mean, none of my other characters have any cunning, and they get an 8% chance to get criticals. So 10% critical chance doesn't seem that useful to me. Let's see. Cunning, willpower, strength of mind and personality. Each point increases attack. It increases all damage. Okay, whatever. So if that's willpower, what's that? So we both have a willpower of 10. That's Solus. Yeah, but he's not a rogue. Just a second. 31. She's got a bit more. Well, that's willpower. So Naki has less willpower than Bull, but she has a stronger attack percent. But that's probably because of the buffs we gave to her weapons. That makes a bit more sense. When you buff someone's weapon or their armor, you can increase that. So fine. So I would argue willpower isn't that meaningful. I haven't spent a bunch of time looking at it. In combat, I haven't needed to worry about it that much. Though I guess I can break the game if I spent more time thinking about it. So I'll probably do more of that later. Just not now. This is a rest stop video. Constitution increases physical robustness, increases health, and melee defense. I want to say Bull has more than anyone. Yeah, Vivian has some. Vivian, I want to say, has a few Constitution buffs to her staves, and some of her armor. I want to say, so that doesn't hurt. Where are hit points? Health, 606. Solus. So I haven't been paying attention to this for a while. I probably should. Rock has 619. Okay, so I can give some idea of what we're dealing with. Where is it? Constitution's at 12. Iron Ball's 20. Here's the thing. 12 Constitution, I have like what? 700 points. You have 700 hit points, so I would argue that even Constitution probably isn't that meaningful. So she has complete magic defense, really? Or is it negative? I don't know what negative means. I guess magic defense should be 0. I don't even know what that means. Does anyone have a lower melee defense than that? Yeah, like, it shouldn't be negative. Negative is bad. I don't know what's going on with that. I guess she's vulnerable. Let's see, Iron Bowl, melee defense, that makes sense. She can absorb 34% damage from melee attacks, which makes sense. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that yet. I think one of these missions, one of the map missions should be done by now, so we'll check that out in a second. Okay, let me do a quick check. I'll go back to that. Yeah, Josephine's ready to report in. So we'll send her out another mission. We'll probably send her out another hunting mission. So we'll probably send her out to collect more materials, you know how it is. We'll leave that and come back to that later. That one's done. Summerstone and Blood, we got 3. We could literally go to there ourselves and get some of that Blood Lotus. So I'd argue that's a waste of time. Go to the Hinterlands and get what? Elf Root and Onyx. Slam.
Inquisitor.
Okay. Let the boys be boys. How much time is left for that other mission? Over there. 3 minutes left, so we'll come back here in a second. That'll be done. So we're not going to go too far. Whoop. Yeah, we got Blood Lotus, yeah. Abilities. What ones did I want to use the most? Here's the thing. Here's our player avatar, Nakia. Here's the thing. She started the game with dual daggers. Eventually, at some point, I got her a regular longbow, which other rogues in this game can use. Varric is the only character in our party that can't use these regular longbows. He can use his crossbow. It's a unique weapon called Bianca. The problem is that, again, he can't use regular longbows. So I give the regular longbow to Nakia, our player avatar, and she can attack from range as well. These other abilities that I gave her, turns out, aren't that useful, because I'm not using them. I got this one when I first started the game. Again, I no longer need it. There isn't one ability that I did choose for her. I got this ability at the beginning of the game, and I'm keeping it. It's called Stealth. It allows her to go invisible. Check out the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You can see the skill. You can see the map for all the buttons that you use. If you press this button in combat, you perform that particular skill. If you hold down L2, it's like a shift button on a keyboard, and you get more options available to you. You can remap these however you want. I'm not going to explain that here. We'll do that when we explain combat later. But I did want this stealth ability because it's very helpful in some combat situations if I want to fight the Fade. I'll explain that later. But as it turns out, it's not that useful. But if you want to position yourself somewhere on the battle arena, that's going to be useful because you can hide and kind of get to a certain area. Or you can hide and get to fallen allies and then heal them. Unfortunately, what does it say? Attacking from stealth gives you a damage bonus, blah, blah, blah. Dealing damage to enemies reduces the ability's cool time. Okay. I want to say that if you attack an enemy or perform any other action like trying to heal your partner, you'll actually lose your stealth. What is this? Entering stealth now. Instant removes all the built-in effects on you. And pass two enemies without being undetected. I don't need to use that, but I'll keep that in mind. I earned this Inquisitor ability after I completed the first milestone mission, which for me means I chose the Mage path. I completed that first milestone mission and I got this. Eventually you get this focus-based ability. I forget how you build focus, but basically the way it works is that over time, as you defeat enemies, you end up getting focus. Then you can unleash this ultimate attack, if you will. I can go to the Codex and read more about focus. I haven't been using it that much. It might be useful in some situations when I'm fighting the Fade. You know, the big tears in the sky. I'll show you those later. Successfully performing ability combo earns additional focus for the party. That's going to be useful if I want to use this Mark of the Rift. What are my archery abilities? This is my style, if you will. Death from above. I do more damage when firing from elevation. You can see the skill tree right here. The skills that I use the most are this long shot here. It's a long distance shot that does more damage the further you are away. I don't know what 15 meters means. See on the right hand side of the screen it says damage bonus. Basically it means that if you're about 3 human beings away from an enemy, I guess you do more damage. There's a cooldown time on it, and it uses some stamina. We'll explain that when we get into combat. Explosive shots are extremely useful because they don't do that much damage, but they usually knock enemies down. And if they don't, they do a lot of damage to them. This leaping shot I need to use more often. It's somewhat useful, but not really. But it'll get you out of trouble if someone's getting really close to you. Did I miss this one? First arrow doesn't kill them. The 10th might. Each consecutive hit does more damage, so I like that. So if we got a really big enemy, it takes a lot of shots. That helps. Not a lot, but it helps a little. And it only lasts for 10 seconds, too. It moves faster while firing, so I'm glad I got that. This one's pretty useful because it's a huge shot. I press the R1 button. Usually it's the first shot I fire in a fight. I go up to the very first enemy I see, press the R1 button, and I do a massive shot that usually knocks them down. Bites even deeper against enemies who aren't even injured yet. So if it's your first shot in a fight, it does a lot of damage. So you always want to start a fight with that if you can. It's time to go inside the map rune. Cullen's done. So we'll send him somewhere else. In fact, where do we send him? So this one's done. I guess we'll send him out to get some more resources. Tarragon's Luster. You can find that just by going to one mountain. Missing waste resources. Volcanic arm I do want. So we'll grab some of that.
To work?
How much time is left in this other mission? Here. Might be like 20 more minutes. Not that one. So if you want a specific item, then you send them out on one of these resource missions if you know you want this particular kind of item. Because this particular kind of item is normally found in that region. So these resource collection missions are, I guess, a reliable way to get more of a specific kind of item. Alright, so we got about 10 more minutes. Let's see. Nokia we already did. Iron Ball. Again, these are the... I'm only referring to the mains, so I'll show them... I'll show more of them a bit later. I'll show you the main skill that I use. Where's this charging ability? Yeah, this ability right here, the Vanguard ability. I wanted this ability because it allows him to run faster, which means it's easier to explore because you can move faster. I want to say only your warriors can get those Vanguard skills, but I'll probably show you how I'll show you how I use that when I get to the combat video. Here's Josephine over here. Is there anything I can read? You can also press the left stick to do that little search ring, and I'll show you what that does when I go out into the field.
I was just inspecting our new headquarters. Foundation cracks, nesting animals, and miles from any centers of civilization. The staff must make it presentable if we're to receive any visitors of distinction.
Right.
The people coming know we just survived Corypheus and a dragon.
And they must be confident we are able to do so again. The mages are showing great trust in you. They need to feel safe here.
Do you not feel safe here?
I've had difficulty forgetting Corypheus' attack on Haven. Do you know who first leapt to arms? Our workers. They were so proud of our cause. Corypheus simply cut them down. So much screaming after that first blast of fire. So many people turned to ash.
We lost far too many good people to that monster.
I'm sure they'll find rest with the Maker. Well, before I return to my duties, allow me to congratulate you on your appointment as Inquisitor, my lady. I will now bring diplomatic issues to your attention, and I'm more than happy to help with any situations that arise.
You don't have to be so formal just because I'm Inquisitor now, Josephine.
Our allies and guests should see you treated with every courtesy, Inquisitor. Fortunately, after your courage at Haven, it's no difficult task to do so.
Yeah. Conversation tree. Let's see. There's usually the way it works is that there are there are standoffish options, there are compassionate options, and there are neutral options. And if you see an emoticon next to one of the options, that usually means you can choose a specific kind of suggestion, a specific kind of response. I chose the sadness response so that I could show some compassion for the people who died. You can also you might have saw an icon that showed that I was kind of stubborn, not stubborn, sort of puff. I can puff out my chest. I can be compassionate. I can be sort of vengeful. So you can see icons during some of these dialogue trees. You can buy and sell stuff here. What am I going to sell here? Hey, I'm selling this crap here. The stuff here that no one's wearing. Before I get rid of anything, I want to see if there are any grips, pommels, or runes on any of these items. So I don't need that. These grips, pommels, and runes are all empty, so they're getting sold. I guess I'll sell the adventurer hat. I'm keeping this because this is for a requisition order. I'll show you what those are when I go out in the field, because requisition orders are useful if you want to get power, because it's actually an easy way to get power. You collect stuff out in the field, you turn it in for a requisition order, and you get power and influence for completing that. I know you get power, I don't know if you get influence.
Who needs the view?
Equip potions. You're allowed to choose what kind of potions to bring with you on your mission. I almost never use anything except for regen potions and regular potions. So here, I always use regeneration potions, and you can't replace that. But you can also map a different potion here. Replenish all. It costs elf root on the left-hand side of the screen to replenish these, and I haven't been able to find that much. I need to go back to the hinterlands to get some more, I guess. You can also upgrade your potions and such, for instance. This restores 385. So if I had more elf root, I could increase the amount of healing this potion does. And I'm probably going to need that a bit later. So I have to unlock that. What about the regen potions? Increase the duration if you have more elf root, which actually might be kind of useful. We'll see. Increases healing time by 3 per second. I need elf root for that. Proximity heal. Heals nearby allies. That sounds interesting. So this is stuff I can do later. That I haven't used before. Rock Armor Tonic. Grants a 12% bonus to armor rating for 30s. I haven't used this one yet. I probably will. Because it'll be useful against some fights when you're dealing, like I said, fade fights. Or fights with stronger enemies. That will help. That's the only tonic I found so far. I haven't used any grenades yet. You got sticky fire grenades. Bees. Again, haven't used any of those yet. I probably will. Again, it might be helpful in some fights if you want to drop it on an enemy that's, below you. Might be useful. I have not done Skyhold Customizations at all yet. I want to say the game wants me to use this. I just don't see the point of it. These look completely cosmetic to me. You have to unlock these. Without no spoiler alert, I got into a romantic relationship with one of the characters in one of my allies, and I think I had to choose. I think I had to change the drapery. So it opened. So once you sleep with somebody, you apparently open up some. You get to decorate your castle, just like real life. This is a throne. So this creepy Game of Thrones looking throne is where you sit during particular parts of the game where you have to make decisions about whether someone lives or dies. Like you're a judge. You're the judge. You're the judge, jury, and inquisitor. But the problem is that it's only happened once. You can't just sit in the chair anytime you want. I don't give a crap about customizations. Let's be honest. Let's see. We got craft armor, craft. Yeah, let's show you a couple more things. I can modify the stuff I already have. For instance, Nakia is wearing this, but only warriors can wear that, huh? So let's say I wanted to give her a different set of arms. I can either remove if I want to put these arms on another piece of armor, I can remove them right here. And then put them on another piece of gear. But for her, we're going to keep these arms where they are. Any legs? Nope, only one set of legs. But you can see right here on the right-hand side of the screen, these legs will get me extra dexterity and extra health. So I'm buffing my health and the damage that I do with my arrows by wearing this particular armor with these particular kinds of arms and legs. Go further down, you'll see the warrior. Iron Bull's wearing this. Yeah, it's stronger, actually. Let's see. You can remove the arms if you want. We don't need to. Remove the legs if you want. We don't need to. We can remove these. If we remove this. Remove the Defender Coat arms. So now you can put it somewhere else. Do I want to put them on here? Nope, because we lose health. We gain melee defense, but we lose some health. See on the far right side of the screen? Red arrow pointing down for maximum health. So we're going to... Instead of having 70 health, we'll go down to 40. So it tells you what the new value is going to be, and it shows you that it's going down. So we're not going to put the Defender Coat arms on this. I want to say those arms are heavy arms. We don't want to mess with those. What's Varric wearing? He's wearing this blocking deflector coat. He can't wear that. He has arms and legs, so he's fine. And Vivian's our mage. She needs legs. So this will give her more willpower, but it'll take away some magic defense. It'll take away her magic defense, but I would argue she doesn't need that much. So we can put this on her instead, or give her enchanter arms. Yeah, this gives her more willpower just straight up. So this will make her... But this willpower, I guess it affects her magic ability. Confirm the changes. So let's give her some legs. We need light armor legs. We go here to craft armor. Light armor, apprentice male legs. We need 4 cloth. This is a utility slot. We need 4 cloths. We need to pick 4 items from our cloth items here. You can see on the right hand side of the screen we can get more willpower, more magic and willpower. I guess it makes a difference. I guess I'm going to go magic. What's the strongest item I have for the most plentiful item in my stash? Like, what do I have the most of? Silk, 4 magic. Let's go for 6 magic if we can help it. 6 willpower. Evernet. Yeah, so let's go. We have lots of Evernet wool, so we need 4 of these. We have 15 of these in our stock. We'll use 4 of them. We need 2 more cloth. We can add more magic or more willpower. What do we have the most of? Silk. Yeah, let's give her more magic. 8 magic. 6 magic and 3 willpower. So I guess we'll just give her more magic. This is cotton for. This cotton's supposed to be for a requisition, I want to say. Let's just give her more magic. I mean, she's a magician. Why not? Do we have more magic? Don't want to waste that. Evernet. We can use Evernet. But it only doesn't give her that much more magic. We'll see if it makes a difference. So we got plenty of silk. We'll use that. Press triangle to craft the item. We now have legs that we can attach to our light armor. So we'll go over here. Again, it's Bioware crap. You can't do all of this in one menu. You have to switch menus to do all this stuff. Don't get me started. Mass Effect Andromeda had the same problem. Vivian, load up. There we go. Takes a while to load sometimes. Go here to the light legs. Imbue the apprentice legs. So now we have more magic. Confirm the changes. So now we're a stronger mage. So stuff like that's actually kind of useful. I like doing that. Modify weapons. Let's go to our mage. Vivian. Okay, remember when I said we couldn't remove the staff? This is what I'm talking about. We have a banded staff grip and a staff blade. Press square to remove these. Can we add them here? Nope. And we can choose which rune we want. Depending on where this is the thing. If we're fighting corrupted enemies, we can put on this rune. If we're fighting regular, knights and soldiers, then we can use this, which does extra damage against the living. So we can't get rid of a rune. We cannot remove a rune. Wait a minute. But can we replace it? Wait, what? I didn't want to do that. Now it won't let me remove it. Can I put it on another? I can't. Did it remove it? Oh man. It got rid of the rune that was already on there. So what happened to it? Let me try something. Oh, come on, man. Okay, anyway. I'm going to add more Constitution. I'm going to add more Magister. Yeah, so we're going to add more Constitution so our character can take more damage. So I removed the rune that was already on there, and that sucks. So I guess I was allowed to remove it once, huh? That's some BS. So you're telling me that rune's completely gone now? I didn't know I was allowed to replace that. I should have wasted my time doing that. Let me try something. It's probably somewhere else in my inventory. Rune. So the rune's gone. I replaced the rune that was on there. It was a good rune, too. Darn it. That's what I'm talking about. I don't have to load my game again. I have to load my game again. That gives you some idea about what we're dealing with. This is what I'm talking about. It's one of those things where it's like... Yeah, do I still have that rune? Wrong dude. Yeah, that's the corrupting rune, right? Yeah, that's what we wanted. Okay, so I was able to save that. But how's my armor? I want to make sure that got saved. It probably didn't get saved. Yeah, we need to ask. So we have to add the legs back, so we'll do that. But you saw me do it, so I don't have to go through that again. Okay, so I want to... What other weapons do I want to craft here? Yeah, so I want to keep that weapon. So you know what I'm talking about.
If I hear one more fuller called a blood groove.
So now you know how to do this. In fact, let me show you how to create a rune over here. If you want to create a rune, you need blank runestones that you can buy. Red lyrium, which you have to find out in the field. I want to say they're not that common. How many of these do I have? 4 of these. Certain enemies do drop them. Fire rune requires fire essence. Frost essence you can pick up from, again, specific enemies that drop it. I want to say, I don't know if they're ice. I think there might be mages, I think, drop these. Some fades drop them. So stuff like that. I don't think those runes are that useful, but I like the idea of getting a rune that does extra damage to living beings. That's a cool idea. If we go to the fallow mire, you know, the swamp. If you go to the swamp called the fallow mire, we might be able to use that cleansing rune against enemies like that. But again, problem, I can't add runes because they disappear. I don't want to get rid of any of the runes that are on the weapons that I have. So the runes seem to be kind of temperamental. Because you can't remove them, you can only replace them. And that's not cool. Unless it's a rune you don't want. But I guess if you sell items that have runes on them, they're somewhat useful. So I guess we'll do one more of these missions. Because we're going to go down to the first floor and I'll show you how to buy power and influence. How to make friends and influence people. Well, you buy it. Capitalism, right? Yeah, we're going to buy power and influence. That's how we do things here in Dragon Age Inquisition. Got Onyx and Elf Fruit. How long does this one take? This one's almost done, so we'll wander around the map, figure out what to do. Let's see. Another mission over here should be done. We got Lazarite. Didn't someone have, what was that? Volcanic something or other? Volcanic aura? Yeah, we want that volcanic aura. The Everite might be useful, though. Yeah, Vandal aura, we want that. So Josephine can do that.
Let us begin.
I think she's really good at getting materials and such. This is going to be a long mission. So we'll do this one. Before we go into combat, we'll do this mission. Let's see. Nothing else over here. We already did those. 28. 8. We're not going to use all of our power yet. So we'll finish that up in a second. What materials do we want to gather, by the way? We fallow mire resources. Yeah, we'll get some summer stone. That won't hurt. Okay, so we'll send Cone on this mission because we're not in a rush. Whatever. And then when Liliana's done, we'll send her on one of these other missions. We'll probably send her on a hunting mission, like a gathering mission. Gather coin. Well, everyone's busy, so we can't do anything yet. 4, 3, 2, 1. I got another corrupting rune. That won't go to waste. So where are we sending her? We don't need coins. We need like specific materials, I'd say, at this point. Over here or over there. Yeah, it's a long mission. We'll do that one later. Deep mushrooms. That's it? Deep mushrooms? Paragon Luster Neverite, okay. Wait, also while a little of use... Okay, deep mushrooms, yeah.
Let's see what we have.
But they're pretty easy to find, to be honest with you. Okay, so we'll be back in 13 minutes. So we'll head downstairs, do one last batch for the video here, and then we'll go into an actual fight. But again, this is all prep time. Yeah, I know Liliana's ready to report in now. Quest map. We're going to go down to the first floor, right? I don't know what floor that is. And who's over here? Cole. You have to go to the battlements to talk to him. We'll talk to Dorian later. We might not even need to talk to him. That's why. Brother Giselle.
Ah, Inquisitor, you have finally come into your own. The Maker has put you on a difficult path. I pray you walk it safely.
I'll do my best to earn this.
You earned this in Haven. The Maker has chosen you to deliver us from Corypheus. You have the faith and support of everyone here. Never forget that. Now, was there anything else?
We're done.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Yeah. You will see dark complexion in this game. And people speak both French and English because Bioware's from Canada, right? See, you press the left stick to see items that can be picked up. They're highlighted. You press X, you get experience for picking them up. See? Again, you don't have to fight anything. You can get experience just by doing that. Ooh, a new seed. I found these somewhere. I don't remember where I found them. Defenses, using restorative mixes. What about Prophet's Laurel? Might use that. Don't find these very often. Oh, we're growing these. Is that where you were growing these? Occasional restorative use. Elf fruit. Yeah, I want elf fruit. Ooh, Vandal Aria. So we have to choose one. Fine. We'll do that. Plant a new seed over here. Some of these are rare enough that I might as well just grow them here. And how long does it take to grow? I have no idea. I didn't even know this was here. Where are we, by the way? So we're here in the garden. Fine. Quincy Jones's garden. Yes, and that's the not so secret garden. What is? I don't think I've ever been over here actually. But there are a few more people over here. Oh, this is just the way back to the castle. Hold on, we got another book I gotta read. Ooh! I was looking for one of these. No one told me it was here.
Has there been an exchange?
See, I found something useful in this research stream. In this rest stop video. That's good to know, I guess. I needed this for the assassins. I guess I'll show you those at the next video. I don't know if these serve any purpose. I just know I'm supposed to read them. I don't even think I have to read them. They're there to be read. We're in the bottom floor now. So we'll go down to the merchants that are here. In fact, they're over here. Yep. Those stables are where Blackwell is, my romantic attachment in this game so far.
I serve, as has always been my calling.
Welcome. Ferris, the representative.
Yes, Inquisitor. How will you choose to extend your reach today?
Say Ferris, I guess. By the way, he has good stuff. Buy, sell. For instance, what does he buy? He buys, well, we can buy reinforcement. We don't really need that. I'll show you what we do definitely want. See, this stuff right here grants a major increase to Inquisition power and influence. But I'll go down to the bottom and show you the cheap stuff here. $167. Buy one of these. And I get 150 influence? Wow. Look at that. How much more did I get? And I got 1 power.
Your worship.
So my power went up by... Supposed to be able to see that. Yeah, my power went up by 1. See up there on the top left-hand corner of the screen? 52 power now. So again, you can just literally buy power. Now if you go over here and try and buy more, what happens? See, that was cheap. What if I buy this one right here? 490 bucks. Gain 300 influence. So I get twice the influence. But of course, Dragon Age Inquisition on the PlayStation 4. We have one more rest stop video to do. This is going to be a combat heavy video. But we'll finish up our prep time right in here by itself. We're not going to do anything new. We're just going to explain the combat that I've been doing for the last 45 hours. To give you some idea about what's for sale here. These different merchants sell different things. The most important stuff you might find here are improvements to Varric's weapon, Bianca here. It's a unique weapon. You buy the improvements here. You can buy the blank runestones, which you need to make runes. You combine these with red lyria or dragon's blood to make specific runes in the Undercroft, in the forge we showed you in the last video. Once you do that, you can start combining those runes permanently, apparently, to a weapon that has a rune slot. So just keep that in mind. You can also buy schematics here. They tell you what you need to make the item when you buy it. It's a dragon slaying rune. That's great. You can make Bianca arms here. Why would you make these here when you can just buy them? Well, maybe they're cheaper, I guess. I don't think I want any of these, though. And if you want to, what do we want to sell? I don't think we want to sell anything, do we? Nope. Sell everything we need. But again, I haven't bought any items. I did buy those relatively inexpensive Bianca upgrades for Varric. Josephine's in. So we'll spend 2 or 3 more minutes here, and then we'll go out into the field. Finish up the video with some combat. We'll go to the hinterlands because, you know, they're an area that's pretty easy to understand. I'll probably close a few rifts too, so I give you some idea about what we're dealing with. There is no merchant here, believe it or not. But again, you can see these fast travel points here. You can go to any one of them on the map. You press L2 or R2 to switch floors if you need to do that. Let's talk to Dorian while we're killing time. This won't take long. So that's Liliana. We already spoke to her. Already examined that. If you read stuff, you get experience. If you examine it, it's just there. It's there as lore, I suppose. It helps him. We already dropped off our research items here. There's Fiona, the leader of the Mage Rebellion. There's Dorian. We picked him up. We found him in the future. We sent him back home with us. So he's basically a year older than we are. Dorian, time traveler.
Interesting?
A letter regarding Felix, Alexius' son. He went to the Magisterium. No news on the reaction, but everyone back home is talking.
Was?
He's dead. The Blight caught up with him.
Are you alright?
He was ill, and thus on borrowed time anyhow.
That doesn't mean you can't regret his death.
I know. Felix used to sneak me treats from the kitchens when I was working late in his father's study. Don't get into trouble on my behalf, I tell him. I like trouble, he'd say. Tevinter could use more mages like him. Those who put the good of others above themselves.
As you saw on the left-hand side of the screen, some of these choices lead to the person you're speaking to either approve or disapprove. They can slightly approve or disapprove, regular approval, or they can greatly approve or disapprove of an option. Some of the choices you make will make everyone in your party approve or disapprove. Some people will go up, some people will go down, depending on the option you chose. So the same option will cause some people to like you more and some people to like you less at the exact same time. So keep that in mind.
Were the two of you...
Felix and I? What an odd question. No, I had no intention of abusing Alexius's hospitality by seducing his son. Not that I've been proper my whole life by any means. It wasn't like that. Even in illness, Felix was the best of us. With him around, you knew things could be better.
You make it sound like he was a better person than you.
What a mad thing to say. Few people are better than I. Very well, a better person, clearly, not nearly as handsome. Thankfully, Felix wasn't the only decent sort kicking around Thedas.
Well, there goes our romantic relationship. Although I think he was still approving of me talking to him, so you know how it is. Okay, we should have a couple of map missions done by now, so we'll just wander around so we can get to the top floor again. Yeah, Cullen's done. There's a beep. I heard a beep. I found a copy of something. I don't know what. Ah! We're outside. Never mind. Okay, let's try that again. We're going to go up here. Whoop, there's a quest giver over there. So maybe speaking with Dorian open up a new conversation option. I'm not sure. Let's see what's going on. Liliana's done. So we'll go over here to the war room, start the mission, and then speak to people before we go out hunting. Hunting in the hinterlands. That'll be how we end the video. We'll close a few fade rifts. That should be relatively easy. And it's something you do in all the areas of the game anyway, so why not? I can't believe I've been playing this for 46 hours. I really can't. I thought I've only been playing it for like 30 or something. Not that I'm complaining. I mean, to be fair, this is my recommendation. I've put 45 hours into this game. I played 20-some hours on the Xbox 360. I'm willing to play this game for 20 more hours. See, there you go. There's a recommendation. It's a $5 game. You know, I'm willing to play this game for 50 hours. That's my recommendation. Press circle to cancel that. We'll do that later. Let's see. Hissing Waste. So we're done with that. So we got our materials. So I don't know what missions are available. I know, like I said, the one mission up there at the top of the screen in Orlais, the far northern end, we're going to want to do that. It's a 3-hour mission. So who needs I don't think it matters how much time this mission's going to take, but we'll just go over here and see what's up. This is a 2-hour, 48-minute mission for Cullen, so he'll go out on that mission. See how it's shorter? 3.5, 320, 324, 248.
Inquisitor.
I don't know what determines that length, but hey, here we are. Because I'll have to read an FAQ or something. So all the other areas are kind of closed off, I want to say. Let's see. Find the warden. We'll do that other stuff later. So let's go to Fallowmire, I guess. Nothing else we can really do at this point. 10.5.
Let us begin.
So I'll go to Orlais, lay down the last marker, and then we can do some more stuff before we go out. Deathroot and Vandalaria. Was alright. 13 minutes, let's do it. Sometimes the difference isn't that meaningful, but like I said, there are some missions that take 16 hours or 21 hours, depending on who you choose. So keep that in mind. So, what's next? Yeah, quest giver. So go to the quest giver, then head down to the world, and I'll show you the 4 people. Well, my party of 4 that I almost always choose. Because, as I explained in my last video, that you get ability points that you can spend on certain skills, but let's be honest. If you're using the same party of 4, why would you switch to somebody else and waste their ability points?
My Lady Inquisitor, it's good of you to speak with me. I have news regarding one of your companions, the Winter.
Well, this is the 2-hour mission that Cullen's on, apparently. We don't have any lighting here.
Has Dorian done something wrong?
No, thankfully. It's nothing like that. I have been in contact with his family. House Pavas, out of Carenas. Are you familiar with them?
I've never spoken to Dorian about his past.
The family sent a letter describing the estrangement from their son and pleading for my aid. They've asked to arrange a meeting quietly without telling him. They fear it's the only way he'll come. Since you seem to be on good terms with the young man, I'd hoped...
Just what kind of meeting do they have in mind?
I believe they just want to talk, to understand why Dorian felt he had to come here. Somewhere private, away from Skyhold, but not in Tevinter. You make them nervous, I think. They don't understand why he's here with the Inquisition. They want him to come home.
What happens if Dorian doesn't agree?
Hopefully that will be the end of it. If not, well, that's why you should be there.
I'll see what I can do.
Bless you, Inquisitor. The family will send a retainer to meet the young man at the Red Cliff Tavern, to take him onward. If he truly does not wish this reunion, he can always end the matter there. I shall pray for your success, and the young man's happiness. That's all we can hope for, is it not?
So we have an optional. Okay, so we have an optional quest. Sounds interesting. Vark's one of my mains. I'll just talk with him for a second.
That got a little heated. Are you all right?
Well, that depends. How angry is Cassandra? I wasn't trying to keep secrets. I told the Inquisition everything that seemed important at the time.
I bet Cassandra regrets how things went back there. You should talk to her.
I appreciate that you're trying to keep the peace, but things between me and the Seeker are as good as they'll get. I keep hoping none of this is real. Maybe it's all some bullshit from the Fade and it'll just disappear. I know I need to do better. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he and Cassandra, one of our other allies, had a fight. Where are we going? This might be another quest giver here, possibly. Nope, we're done. Okay, we're out. Quest map. We're going to the hinterlands. Where are we going? Closing the Fade? Where's the Fade? It's Mercenary Fortress. There's Fade over there. It's kind of dangerous. There's some other Fade around here. I think we already closed it, though. Is there no other Fade here? I'm kind of surprised. Because the other Fade I was trying to take out is actually kind of dangerous. There might be some Fade over here we can clear out. You can clear out these Fades. So we're not going to go to the hinterlands. We'll go somewhere else. Okay, my mains are, at least the people who are the best equipped. We have a tank. That's the Iron Bull right here, who takes up most of the damage. Does melee attacks. Vivian's our mage. Vark is our other ranged character. He's a rogue that has a unique weapon. So he's coming with us. Now, why am I choosing these three? Because there are three classes in this game. Mages, warriors, they're melee, and rogues that can do both. They're fast, so they can do melee. They can also carry around arrows, which I normally do. Because the idea is that Bull will go out into the heat of battle, take all the damage, drink all the potions if he needs them. The mages and the rogues will hang back, shoot arrows, shoot magic, stay away from damage. I'm back in a second with the combat video.